Duan Ling Tian, who'd merged with the 2 lifetimes worth of memories of the Rebirth Martial Emperor, naturally knew how lofty the status of Martial Emperor stage experts were in the foreign lands. Even if it was only an ordinary person, so long as it was a person that was related to a Martial Emperor stage expert, then even a 9th-level martial monarch stage expert would dare do anything to the person in the open. Once a martial emperor was enraged, then even a martial monarch would be annihilated and blood would flow in rivers. The strength of a martial emperor wasn't a joke. After feeling resentful for a while, Duan Ling Tian returned to his senses and didn't continue being entangled by this, and he instead moved his gaze onto the 2 talismans in his hand. I can be sure that these talismans don't have any inscriptions within them. I wonder where Dad got these things from. They're actually even capable of directly killing void transformation stage experts. At the same time that Duan Ling Tian sighed in his heart when he recalled the scene of Bai Nan Xiang dying at his hands just like that, he couldn't help but be pleased. Bai Nan Xiang, the god of protection of the Darkhan dynasty's imperial family, an existence that had even been publicly acknowledged as the #1 expert in the Darkhan dynasty. Even Feng Wu Dao's reputation wasn't as great as Bai Nan Xiang in the Darkhan dynasty, yet it was precisely an expert like this that had died at Duan Ling Tian's hands. I wonder what's the strongest martial artist these talismans can annihilate. If it's even capable of killing martial monarchs, then it was truly too great of a waste this time. Duan Ling Tian thought in his heart, and then he put away the 2 talismans as if they were precious treasures, as these were treasures that could instantly kill void transformation stage experts. There's also that exquisite jade box amongst the things Dad left behind for me. I wonder when I can open it? According to Dad's message, it seems as if I'll only be able to find him after I open the exquisite jade box. Duan Ling Tian laughed bitterly. He didn't feel the slightest bit delighted that he had a father that seemed to be a martial emperor stage expert, and he instead was slightly speechless. Even if you want your son to gain experience and tempering, it shouldn't be an experience like the one earlier, right? You neither care nor give any regard. What would happen if I accidentally got killed? Duan Ling Tian felt angrier and more speechless the more he thought about it. He obviously had a chance to obtain a meteoric rise, yet for some unknown reason, his father had actually left him all alone in the Darkhan dynasty and left him to his own means. Never mind. I was fine when you didn't return in the past. Humph. I'll carve out achievements of my own and even surpass you in the future. Duan Ling Tian silently thought in his heart. Of course, this was something he was saying in his heart to his deadbeat dad, Duan Ru Feng. After some time passed and he cleared his mood, Duan Ling Tian continued to head towards the Crimson Sky Kingdom. I'll first go look for Xiao Yu, Xiao Sun, and Tian Hu to have a meal and catch up after I return, and then I'll return to Aurora City. Duan Ling Tian had a plan in his heart. Aurora City was precisely the city he'd headed to after leaving Fresh Breeze Town all those years ago, and it was a city that belonged to the Swallow Mountain County of the Crimson Sky Kingdom. The main clan of the Fresh Breeze Town's Lee family that his mother was from was there. In a blink of an eye, it's been many years since I've seen that damn fatty Li Xian. I wonder if he has slimmed down? I'll return to the Fresh Breeze Town's Lee family on the way and go see the patriarch, fifth elder, and the others. Duan Ling Tian continued to plan for the following period of time. Duan Ling Tian arrived at the Crimson Sky Kingdom's imperial city after a few days, and he didn't impatiently return to his own courtyard house but instead went to the Xiao clan to look for Xiao Yu and Xiao Sun. Xiao Yu, Xiao Sun, long time no see. Duan Ling Tian smiled as he greeted the two. Duan Ling Tian. Xiao Yu and Xiao Sun revealed delighted smiles when they saw Duan Ling Tian, and then they pounced over to give Duan Ling Tian a bear hug. We found out a while back from the members of the Su clan that you've returned, yet when we went over to look for you, you weren't there. I went out to take care of something and have just returned. Duan Ling Tian smiled. Since you came looking for us as soon as you returned, we won't make a fuss about it with you. Let's go have a drink. Xiao Sun joked. Wait. Xiao Yu stopped Xiao Sun. Duan Ling Tian and Xiao Sun both looked at Xiao Yu with gazes of wonder. Duan Ling Tian, let me bring you to go see a person. She's been frequently talking about you. Xiao Yu looked at Duan Ling Tian and revealed a warm smile, and his eyes were filled with gentleness. If someone who didn't know the relationship he had with Duan Ling Tian, they would perhaps think that he was fond of the same sex. Could it be that you brought little Qian over? Duan Ling Tian's eyes couldn't help but light up when he saw the gentleness in Xiao Yu's eyes, and he asked with slight surprise. Little Qian was precisely Luo Qian, the younger sister of the companion Duan Ling Tian and Xiao Yu had become acquainted with in the Iron Blood Army's genius camp, Luo Cheng. Luo Cheng had passed away because of the test of the genius camp, and he'd asked Duan Ling Tian to take care of his younger sister, Luo Qian, in the will he wrote, whereas, Duan Ling Tian had indeed taken Luo Qian to be his own younger sister. After that, because Luo Qian and Xiao Yu had fallen for each other, she didn't return to the Li clan with him and had instead gone to the Xiao clan. A warm smile couldn't help but suffuse Duan Ling Tian's face when he recalled the cute young girl from all those years ago. When he met Luo Qian once more, Duan Ling Tian was slightly unable to recognize her. The immaturity the young girl had once was long gone, and replacing it was a natural and graceful bearing. In terms of appearance, Luo Qian was inferior to his two fiancées, Fen Tianwu, Xiao Lan, and Princess Bai Yao, yet she could be considered to be a beauty. Duan Lingtian smiled as he looked at the beautiful woman that held a baby in the courtyard. Little Qian, I haven't seen you for many years, yet never did I expect that you'd have already married Xiao Yu and become a mother. The beautiful woman that was concentratedly teasing the baby in her embrace hurriedly raised her head when she heard a voice, and when she saw Duan Lingtian, she had a pleasantly surprised expression. Big brother Lingtian. After the two of them caught up, the nearby Xiao Yu smiled at Duan Lingtian. Our child is already 3 months old, yet doesn't have a name until now. Since you've returned, give him a name. No matter what, you're the child's godfather. Give a name. Duan Lingtian laughed bitterly. You're making it difficult for me. But even though he said this, Duan Lingtian's gaze still descended onto the baby in Luo Qian's embrace, and the baby was rosy and chubby, causing him to be extremely cute. Big brother Lingtian, hold your godson. Luo Qian smiled as she passed the baby over to Duan Lingtian. Duan Lingtian stretched out his hand to receive the baby, and as he looked at the baby that was blinking his watery and large eyes while looking curious at himself, Duan Lingtian felt his feelings suddenly become extremely calm. The baby's pair of large eyes were pure and flawless, and they didn't contain the slightest impurities. For some unknown reason, a figure actually flashed abruptly within Duan Lingtian's mind as he looked at the baby, and it was the figure of a young man that was smiling lightly as he looked at Duan Lingtian. Luo Chang. Luo Qian's older brother. We'll call him Xiao Chang. How about it? It can be considered to be in memory of Luo Chang. Duan Lingtian looked at Xiao Yu and Luo Qian as he asked. All right. Xiao Yu's eyes lit up when he heard this, whereas Luo Qian's eyes were already red. She'd obviously recalled her older brother that had passed away many years ago, and a smile suffused her face as she received the baby that Duan Lingtian passed back to her. It was as if she'd returned to those times when she was young, those times that were happy even though they were hard times. Because she had an older brother that could give everything for her. Duan Lingtian signaled Xiao Yu and Xiao Sun with his eyes, and the three of them left the courtyard and left the Xiao clan estate to go look for a restaurant to drink at. After 3 cups of wine, Duan Lingtian found out that his old friend, Tianhu, wasn't in the imperial city any longer, and he'd instead gone to guard the borders of the Azure Forest Imperial Kingdom. That fellow Tianhu is already a vice-general. The person above him in rank is about to retire 2 years from now, and at that time, he'll be a real general." Xiao Sun laughed as he told Duan Ling Tian about Tianhu's recent developments. Duan Ling Tian smiled lightly as he nodded, and he felt happy that Tianwu was able to obtain such achievements. All those years ago in the Imperial City's Paladin Academy, there were only 4 good friends of the same age by his side, and they were Xiao Yu, Xiao Sun, Tianhu, and Su Li. This friendship was something he would always remember in his heart. "Duan Ling Tian, what's your cultivation now?" asked Xiao Sun. "Xian Sun, you actually dare ask Duan Ling Tian this question? I reckon both of us are going to have a heavy blow struck on us." Xiao Yu shook his head, but his eyes still looked at Duan Ling Tian with a curious expression. 9th level of the Void Initiation Stage. Duan Ling Tian didn't conceal anything to these 2 old friends, and he shrugged as he spoke. 9th level of the Void Initiation Stage? Practically at the instant Duan Ling Tian finished speaking, Xiao Sun and Xiao Yu were petrified, and they were unable to recover from their shock even after a long time. Xiao Yu was the first to recover from his shock, and he muttered, "I heard that even the Azure Forest Imperial Kingdom only possesses a single existence at the 7th level of the Void Initiation Stage, and that person is the number 1 expert of the Azure Forest Imperial Kingdom." Duan Ling Tian, you really shocked the sh*t out of us. Xiao Sun gasped. Duan Ling Tian smiled lightly. "When I see both of you like this, I feel that I should tell the both of you about Su Li." Su Li. Xiao Yu and Xiao Sun's eyes instantly lit up when they heard Duan Ling Tian, and they said with slight pleasant surprise, "Duan Ling Tian, you met Su Li?" "Yes." Duan Ling Tian nodded. During the genius competition held by the Azure Forest Imperial Kingdom's imperial family over 2 years ago, Su Li was there as well. At that time, my strength was far inferior to Su Li. "What?" Xiao Yu and Xiao Sun were instantly shocked. They knew clearly of Duan Ling Tian's natural talent in the martial Dao, and not only had they never surpassed Duan Ling Tian, they were thrown further and further into the distance by Duan Ling Tian. Yet now, Duan Ling Tian had said that Su Li's strength 2 years ago was stronger than him. After all, when Su Li left Paladin Academy and even the Crimson Sky Kingdom all those years ago, his cultivation was far inferior to Duan Ling Tian. Never had they imagined that Su Li would be able to catch up and even surpass Duan Ling Tian. Even if he'd surpassed Duan Ling Tian temporarily, it was sufficient to cause them to feel shocked. So in this way, both of you passed through the Azure Forest Imperial Kingdom's genius competition together. Xiao Yu asked with a burning gaze. Yes. Duan Ling Tian nodded. What was the outcome later on? Did you and Sully obtain the qualifications to advance and participate in the dynasty martial competition in the Darkhan dynasty after the both of you arrived at the Darkstone Empire? Xiao Sun asked slightly impatiently. Not long ago, Sully and I have just advanced in the dynasty martial competition of the Darkhan dynasty, and we've obtained the qualifications to participate in the martial competition of the 10 dynasties. Duan Lingtian smiled.